Welcome to a quick sharp review of Animal Man by Grant Morrison, the Deluxe edition. I'm going to be talking a bit about this physical release. I'm going to be talking about the story and lastly what music I'd recommend listening to while reading it. So Animal Man by Grant Morrison, it comes in 2 deluxe editions. There's also a version of this that is an omnibus that has both of them. Depending on where you live and what the deals are, one of these might be more expensive than the other. I got this for a good deal, so I think I got this one for about $25 and this one was about $40. This is Australian dollars I'm talking. On sale, on like a Black Friday sale, the omnibus that contains both of these might be about 100 Australian dollars. Just looking at the cover art, amazing sort of stuff here by Brian Bolland on both of these, who did, I think, all the covers. And again, we can see some of this awesome artwork on both of these dust covers. And taking them off, again, really nice artwork on either side of those. And again here, cool artwork. Yeah, look at the detail on this, right? You can see all of this lettering here. On the inside of each of these, we've got one sort of matte black page, and we get started, table of contents, and introductions. I love introductions and seeing some of the insight of the author when they were making this stuff. This one I think also has one. Interesting, what I should bring up is the paper quality is different on these two. So whereas this has nice sort of matte-ish but still glossy paper, this is like fully matte paper, which is kind of weird that they differentiate that between these two. I would have been nice if it was consistent, but I mean, not reading both of these books at once, I think this one probably deserves to have a bit glossier paper, but anyway. So yeah, overall, nice releases, nice sort of sturdy hardbacks. You can see the sort of glued binding there. Animal Man by Grant Morrison is a series that was, I think, around the 90s or so, maybe the late 80s that he started writing. And basically what he did, like a few of the English comic book writers like Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore, they came over from England and started writing for DC and other comics and reviving some of these old comic book characters who hadn't been used for a while, and doing something interesting with them. And boy, did he do something interesting with this character of Animal Man. So, you know, he starts off as this, he's a sort of D-list hero who can absorb the powers of animals and then use them. And it starts off as a fairly sort of straightforward series where he is starting to introduce some ideas about environmentalism and animal, like trying to take care of animals and the environment, and then it becomes something completely different. This is the most meta comic that I've ever read. There will be sort of references to the author and the fact that Animal Man is within a story, which is just like mind-boggling when you start to read about it. The first great issue in this series, and probably one of the best comic stories I've read ever, would be this one, the Coyote Gospel. This is just incredible and sort of foreshadowing what's to come in terms of what Animal Man will experience, where this wily coyote-like character is in our world, and he tells this story about how he was sort of a sacrificial lamb to save his people. He comes into our world, sent by his creator, and you know, you get all this sort of crazy stuff here happening where he's dying in a Christ-like pose, and you see an author colouring in the page, and so the first half has some of those sort of things, and you know, getting a little bit meta with it, and then the second book here just goes completely off the deep end with that sort of storytelling, and throughout it you get all this foreshadowing in the background of stuff that may happen. It's this really sort of interesting story that I'd recommend to anybody who's interested in comics, but particularly like wanting to see a DC hero who interacts with other DC heroes, but just this incredibly interesting, different story to what you're used to, I would highly recommend this. The format of this is just crazy. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm sure I'm going to pick up more stuff on a reread, because there were so many things throughout that were just peppered in there to pay off at the end. So really an interesting story, and this awesome paneling. I love when this happens. You sort of follow it around. They did a similar interesting thing in Court of Owls, sort of Descent into Madness. You sort of spin the book while you're reading it based on what way the text is facing. Really cool stuff. I'd recommend reading it. If you're going to read it, I would listen to some music, because I love some music when I read comics. So for this first volume, I listened to the Harley Quinn TV show soundtrack. I thought that was kind of off kilter and had some sort of action beats, and then some sort of more mellow beats. This one I listened to my I'll put my playlist in the description, but it's my one that I made for the 20th Century Boys manga. It's sort of suspense and gloom and revelation sort of music. Anyway, I think it worked really well. Yeah, let me know if you like this series. If you've picked up this one versus the Omnibus edition, are there many differences? I haven't heard there's many. And certainly this has nice little bits of extra artwork at the back, extra covers, and this is the Omnibus cover. Yeah, and this one, I love this sort of stuff. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks, bye.